going into that smart city. All energy going into the smart city should be coming from renewable energy, should be coming from solar energy, or any other form of wind energy. No fossil fuel burning for meeting out the electricity requirements of the next generation. Why I showed you this presentation about how the human race has come about, in 20,000 years, the doctors and psychologists say that the human race is using only 2 to 3% of the brain, 2 to 3% of the gray cells that we are able to use. So you can imagine now with so much technology, so much information at our disposal, what can happen in the next 100 years. So that is the challenge which I bring to you today on the ground. The second innovation that I wish to really talk about is the water. Water is the scarcest source today, and use of water, drinking water, fresh water, we should say no to drilling, no to puncturing the aquifer. The water which has come into these aquifers has come through millions of years. Drop by drop, it has gone into the second level and third level aquifers. There is still, as far as water harvesting is concerned, so much is being talked of, but what are the real working models for rainwater harvesting? This is another major technology challenge in the country today. The third major challenge is the waste management. The solid waste management, the hospital waste management, the urban waste management. The smart cities should be designed in a fashion where the entire waste management process takes place on a unit basis within a particular colony, within a particular society, and no waste goes outside of the smart city. Then only we can really say that the entire city is a smart city. So with these small things, I would say that creativity is thinking up new things. Innovation is doing things in a new way. So this is where I want to inspire the younger generation and also request the institute to set up these incubation centers where the young innovators could come, the young thinkers and dreamers could come and try out what are on their ideas, work on their ideas, give them a platform to really bring about new changes in the technology to help the society at large. And innovation can happen only when the mind is in quiescence, when the mind is quietened. When the mind is all hubbub, when the mind is all occupied, I think creativity will not take place. Innovations may not take place. So creating an environment for innovation is also one of the things that through this platform of Birla Institute of Technology and Bitosa Global, we'll try and create certain incubation centers where these technologies can take ground to earth change. So with this, I would say thank you for my patient hearing. Thank you very much.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir. Now we have about half an hour for question answer session. So we are open to questions now.
I'm here, on your left, raising my hand.
Yeah.
I'm Adit Jain. Professor Gupta, your presentation was absolutely brilliant. Now, what can industry do to convert some of these brilliant ideas into commercial opportunities? And what are the typical challenges that impede the conversion of these ideas into commercial opportunities?
So I think you will take.
For commercialization? You see, there are two kinds of, at least two, maybe there are three kinds of enterprises: social enterprises, economic enterprises, and of course sometimes there are cultural enterprises. Now, we do not have to insist that everything that we diffuse for larger social good must only be diffused through markets, commercial markets. There are many things that all of us in this hall have used for which we never paid. So we must, first of all, agree that we will have to think both strands of diffusion, commercial and social. Coming to the commercial, there are several insights that we have gained over the last 25 years. One is that most innovators do not normally make a good entrepreneur. Innovator cannot make two things alike. Entrepreneur has to make batch by batch consistent product. So we must not insist that those who develop new products and ideas should also become entrepreneur. That is where the trick is, that we must try to link entrepreneurs with the innovators. And that means that those who have acumen, business acumen, but may not have good ideas, and those who have good ideas, how do we tie them up? Here, the companies can also come forward. Companies can set up subsidiaries, company can have, even, in fact, I have argued to Kerala government that we should have incubators inside the company. So if you're an auto part, create an incubator of auto part, bring innovators. Some of your employees can be given long leave to set up a small enterprise in which the company can have an equity, and that is the model that we have to try. We have not tried that model at all. We are trying to have incubation in academic institutions. Professors don't commercialize things. I don't commercialize things, you know. So it is all right that I can suggest ways in which it can be done, but the people who do commercialization, I think we have to bring them on the board. Thank you.
Any other question we may have? Yes,
This is
please.
Avinash Singh.
Yeah.
Sir, I've got a very simple question to all of the panel people who are sitting there. Sir, we have got we talk about innovations, we talk about alternate energy, we talk about solid waste management, drinking water. The basic problem in this country, which I have found in working for the last 30 years, is the awareness factor. We don't have a capacity building in sustained way. We have been part of seminars and conclaves all through many places. We talk all the things, but at the grassroots level, we hardly come for capacity building or success. Even in central funding, the capacity building part or the awareness factor part is not taken so seriously. Huh? So how I ask, he is in social sector, Professor Gupta. I've heard so much about him before coming here. Sir, what are the ways of a sustainable? Mr. Popley is there, he is of renewable energy. Jan Saab is there, he is also from renewable energy. What are the sustainable awareness factor? People should come to it and know about the whole thing, how to make them aware, how to make them use it, and how to make them use it properly. That's the thing. That's the trouble which is troubling us for a long time.
Okay, we've got your question. I think the first thing that you are saying is to identify the innovator. Like we say, a talent search program in the country, like that, there is a innovator identifying program or where innovations are being identified. That is what Dr. Gupta is precisely doing, where he's trying to identify the innovations which are taking place all across the spectrum of the society. And he's trying to document them and then bring them into a commercial point. And I think he will also have something to say on this, and then Mr. Popley can also say something on.
For awareness, we have been talking to the railway minister, and now the new minister is a good friend. So, 23 million people travel by train every day. 23 million people travel by train every day. If only we could use this channel to both crowdsource ideas and throw the challenges to them and seek the solutions, we can revolutionize the way problems are solved in this country. Similarly, about 1.5 lakh rural post offices cover 6.5 lakh villages of this country. There are in all 6.5 lakh villages. 1.5 lakh post offices. Post offices do not have much work now because of the people have stopped writing letters to many. So therefore, we can use the existing postal network to create tremendously rich, sustainable, viable supply chain, distribution chain for a whole range of educational content. So we can give open source Indian language lessons to every single village so that the asymmetry between privileged children and the not so privileged children can be removed in 1 year or 2 years. It is possible to do that. So the question that you're asking is very relevant, that what is that we can do by using innovative ways, both to create awareness, to source ideas from informal sector. Why are most of the companies in Procter & Gamble, Siemens, why are they setting up open innovation platform? because they are realizing that the R&D is not equal to innovation. We need to seek ideas from outside the company, outside the organization. And this realization must dawn on all our companies in India too. Whether it is NTPC or anybody, we must open up and have challenge award. Gandhiji had announced a challenge in 1929 of 7,700 pounds to improve the design of charkha. उस समय उसकी कीमत 1 लाख रुपए थी, आज उसकी कीमत 10 करोड़ रुपया है। एक भी अवार्ड नहीं हमारे 10 करोड़ का। So I think we should take recourse to throwing challenges to the society. Challenge awards आने चाहिए अलग-अलग sector के अंदर. That will create much more awareness than anything else.
Well, if I understood your question correctly, I think the awareness comes, maybe I'll take a different view. I mean, once a technology or innovation reaches an inflection point, and till then, probably you might have to make efforts, but once the inflection point is reached, it doesn't require anything. And that is bound to happen maybe in renewable energy also, once people understand that yes, this is cheaper, this is more viable, this is fundamentally better, well, things will change automatically. This is what you have seen in mobile also. So same thing is going to repeat in other technologies as well. Thank you.
Yes, any other question before we wind up now?
Hello. I have a question here.
Yeah.
On the right hand side. Here.
Okay.
Hi sir, my name is Rajesh.
Yeah.
This question is to all 5 panelists probably. While we have been hearing about all these innovations which most of them Mr. Gupta, Professor Gupta has shown in photographs form, and we have been seeing them, watching them for last possibly decade also. A common observation is that whenever these small innovations come to the shape of commercial productions via corporate houses, it loses its charm of innovation, rather it goes to the form of P&L accounts. And there are so many, innovation deaths which has been happening. It is not taking a shape of mass production, or rather reaching to the benefits of the bottom of the pyramid, if I say so. Barring few examples, I mean, if I quote, so like Milk Federation, which started from a small level, now went up to the level of, or Lijjat Papad, if I say so, few examples. Otherwise, if I repeat my statement, innovations moving into mass productions, taking a shape of benefits, going to, set up people actually. So our government, or rather small NGOs, or rather experts like you, pushing government hard in terms of how to take these innovations into a large level without giving it a shape of commercializations, or rather, kind of mass production.
This is almost a similar question which we have just answered, and the platforms are being created, and the idea is to have the incubation centers within the industry and the institutions. You see, that is only when the ideas will flourish, because the innovator does not have the capacity or does not have the capital strength to create or fructify the innovation. You see. So that is where the platforms need to be created, and that is the call here from Bitosa Global. That's the call here. Any other question? Quickly, please. We are finishing, running out of time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hello. I'll just add to your point. Commercialization, especially in India, is not happening so much because by nature, we Indians, do not want to invest in risk capital. If you look at US and Europe, they have so many angel investors and seed capital companies who would fund any innovation which is either patented or something which they feel that this is a fresh idea and it can be backed. The number of angel investors in US are probably running into thousands, and they must have lost billions of dollars in capital in angel investments because the ideas could not be commercialized. But it's not that they have backed out. The reason is that if one such idea clicks, it recovers all the investment. In India, we don't have that culture. So that's why, the commercialization of a idea does not happen. What we need is that a lot of HNIs and a lot of other institutes coming as angel investors. Probably that is how it will get commercialized. Some will lose money, some will make money.
Okay. Any other last question, please? Last question. Yes, please, you.
Should I say, sir?
Mike.
My name is Rohit Pujari.
Yeah.
I am 92 batch BIT Misra.
Uh-huh.
And probably I am in a different field than most of the others here. I am in politics.
Okay.
Currently MLA,
Politics.
currently I am MLA from Redakol in Orissa. It's one of the most underdeveloped constituency probably in the entire country, I will say. Because earlier I was with Youth Congress, I moved throughout the country also. I was very moved by what Professor Gupta said. And I would request that, I mean, I could relate to what all they have been saying. And my request is, Professor Gupta, if you can come and have one of his walks in my constituency, in my part of Orissa. And similarly, I would request all the friends from BIT here, if they can come and help our constituency in any way,
I'm in Bhubaneswar on 13th.
Right, sir.
But I can tell you, I have had 4 or 5 meetings. When the cyclone came, about 24 lakh trees had fallen down. I went to the Orissa government. I said, I brought the industry which wanted to use the bark and the leaves and the roots of those trees, not timber, the non-timber products, and make medicine out of them, herbal medicine and Ayurvedic medicine. I couldn't get it done. So please appreciate that there is a lot that can be done if leaders like you come forward and insist that actions take place and not just discussion take place. Lot can be done.
So right
on
now,
13th, I'm there with you.
I'm also Deputy Chief Whip of Orissa government. So any support from Orissa, I will be always be there to help anyone. Thank you.
13th we are meeting.
Meet him on the 13th and take it up. One question here, please. Last question.
Yes, my name is Ashok Shukla. I'm 80 batch Electronics and Telecommunications. Though unfortunately, I have nothing left of electronics anymore.
Okay.
So anyway, it's not a question. It's more of a suggestion and some information. I have been involved with FICCI, and it was in the Mr. Nirankar सक्सेना's supervision that I participated in India Innovates 2008. After that, I have been a very, very active member of IPR committee of FICCI. So during my experience, what I found that we keep blaming the Indian culture for the lack of innovation. Actually, that's not perhaps right. The awareness is not there. We pass out engineering and we don't even know what different kind of IPRs are there. It's not just patents. Perhaps all of you would know it's design registrations, it is trademarks and so many other things, geographical indications, etc. So we as BITians can perhaps create that environment, at least within our own community, and try to make aware as many people as possible what exactly intellectual property right is, what exactly the innovation is. And believe me, once we make them aware, people would commercialize it.
Exactly.
Thank
So
you.
it is a very good suggestion. I think we are asking Professor Mishra also